How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here, and we're on episode number 6 of season 2 for the OA, which is called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. No, in all seriousness, we are jumping back into the OA with 2 episodes left to go after this episode. And last episode was really, it was very lore-based, and it was very eerie. I mean, this show is completely, especially the last 2 episodes, where we had a talking octopus and we had talking trees. It is very, very eerie, but I do love this show so much, as more of this story is throwing out the pieces of this puzzle, and we are trying to slowly but surely piece them together, and I think within the next couple of episodes things will be a lot more clearer. But we got some we did get some clarity in the last episode regarding the house as well, as it was built to basically protect this mystical essence that the engineer and the medium sought to protect. So yeah, they designed the house as a puzzle, which Kareem did get the brunt. I guess, yeah, he did get the brunt of that mainly during the last episode, whereas Prairie was talking to trees, as they gave her that objective that you have to form this group, as Hap is leaning to making a great discovery, which we also found out. Speaking of discoveries, well, he also found out, as well as us, to our surprise, that Elodie, who did seemingly transport to a different dimension, had these robots, these mechanical robots that did the sequences, so you didn't need humans at the end of the day. But she was able to transport to another dimension through these like little mechanical things. I wouldn't call them robots, but they are in a sense. But yeah, dimension robots. But yeah, it was a really, really fascinating episode last time out. I'm still expecting a few things to come up, like BBA. We're yet to see her come through the other dimension. Maybe we'll see that in this episode, because episode 8 is where everything will get constructed and we'll close out this season. So it's either this episode or next episode. But I know this show does well in terms of developing stories. So yeah, we'll see when BBA makes her way through the next dimension. But yeah, with that said, let's get into episode number 6 of season 2 of the OA. Let's go.
I don't even know if that would work.
Because we haven't tried.
BBA's uncle's on his deathbed, Steve. She has to say goodbye.
She's using him as an excuse not to jump.
Dude.
I mean,
so she didn't jump, okay.
Nobody cares about their uncles that much.
She's going to jump, just not right this second.
That's harsh, Steve. Come on.
Family.
An old lady to another dimension if she doesn't want to jump. We're just gonna push her into the invisible river.
I'm sorry you're not the chosen one. I know your bummed about not going to her.
Bridge, out the window, foghorns. He kept hearing the name Dr. Roberts, and so I thought, what if Homer was in a hospital? Like an actual hospital, and that would be where Rachel is, or was too.
Good on
like,
Jessie. Good on him.
In the background, and foghorns going off all the time.
I mean, he's nailing this down.
In the Bay Area fits all the criteria.
What's your point, man?
Well, what's going on?
Your phone?
Yeah.
Phone?
Book, you might just want to sliver out right now.
Don't everyone look at once. Amber Alert on TV?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh. Oh.
I don't know. My phone was dead.
What about the rest of you? What did your parents say? Oh my God.
Guys.
Please tell me you called your parents.
Yeah, no one's... Oh boy, guys.
You have to call them. That's how this works. Maybe that's why Rachel said only I could go. Because you're all too young to die.
Ooh.
All right, we have to get out of here. Okay? We have to get rid of our phones. Let's go.
That is pretty dark. Yes, let's smash him.
We know there's nobody looking for me.
Oh, Oh, Jessie.
It was only a car, man.
Angie might be laughing, but she wouldn't if she knew what was going on inside his head. I'm glad that they're not skirting around this, because something like this will be very traumatic.
You just sleep.
Oh, Steve. Oh. See, he could be a great dude when he tries.
Whoa.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It would be so pretty camping out as well.
I need a fucking bath.
Oh, for God's sake. Water! My friend! What is your friend, people? Drink. But don't drink the sea, because...
What you went through, honey.
At least she's
Come on,
looking
that's
out
just
for
too
her.
much. I mean, when I heard that there was an active shooter at your school, the things that ran through my mind. I knew you'd protect those kids.
Because BBA is our hero.
But
We love BBA.
wait, OA is the blind girl, the one who was killed. Yeah?
She wasn't killed. Not really.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
I
there was the cult thing, and now she's
I thought
going
I knew
this
you.
deep.
Please, don't call the police. It'll just make things worse.
Sounds crazy.
Streetlights flowing over me through the window. That's what it'll be like. That's what heaven will be like.
My God, Jessie.
Let's let Uncle Carl sleep, Jessie.
That was...
That was lovely.
Yeah.
Tell Steve we have to get up early. Sunrise. I want my last view of this dimension to be a good one.
Go out with style.
Also, we have to do it before Amy wakes up. She thinks I kidnapped you guys.
It's kind of the other way around, isn't it?
It was, to be fair. Oh, that's a nice shot.
See you?
Ooh. Yep, this is the upside down.
Please help me.
Jessie.
Yo, Jessie. Jessie.
Jessie.
Dude,
Is he okay?
Jessie.
What's wrong with him?
Oh shit, no, Jessie.
It's Uncle Carl's pain meds.
Dude, wake up.
Wait, what
Oh,
happened?
no.
Ice cold.
Come on.
Oh shit, no, Jessie.
So please. Come on.
Jeez, I think he's dead.
Shut the fuck up. He's not dead. He's not.
They're not going to be able to do it this time, are they? Holy shit.
Betty!
Oh, no.
Betty!
Amy, go away.
It's working.
Oh, look,
Come on,
he's...
Buck. Oh, don't stop.
Look,
Why are you
he
stopping?
realizes he can't...
I feel like it's not working.
No. What? What do you mean? Homer and away go. Come on. No. BBA. Let's go. Come on. Here we go. Fuck, help BBA, please. It's my fault. Come on. It's my fault.
No, it's not. Steve. Holy shit. Steve.
Steve! Steve! Where are you going? Steve! Steve! Steve!
Jesus Christ. This is heartbreaking. This is breaking my heart. Oh
It's okay.
my god. Oh.
I'll be back. Gonna go grab a soda or something.
This... Jesus Christ, they're doing so good at hitting me in the emotions.
I'm feeling confused.
That's the thing. She's in this circle of
I'm gonna say
disarray.
a short prayer. Then I'm calling the police to turn myself in. You can't get in trouble over this. I won't let you.
Oh, shit.
Alfonso,
Oh!
you called?
Oh, it's Prairie's thingamabob. Yes, holy shit. And he is in the known on this, so yeah, okay. And he will soon become Lex Luthor. Oh man. Steve, that precious hair though. Okay, he can definitely be a Lex Luthor.
Church, motel, clinic.
They're all buildings.
Part of you knows.
The dimensions, through spaces.
Now you've got what you need.
Good on
I was
BBA.
losing my mind.
You're not.
She's so connected. Oh, the mirror. She's so
You're just
connected.
finding new rooms inside it. I've been sent to help her. She's gonna need it.
Oh! So if he's there to help Prairie, what if he's the because I did say maybe it was Homer, but you didn't account for the FBI guy who was there where... I'll just turn this off just in case the sound plays, but yeah. He was there when, like, no other FBI agent would be. And it makes sense with him in the house. Holy shit, so he must be the brother. He must be the brother in this dimension. And it kind of works out because we've got an official, like an FBI guy, and we've got Kareem. So they are linked in a sense as well. So that makes perfect sense if he is the brother. Damn. Okay. I think that's the case. I think he is the brother. I think I've got it nailed down. I think that is the thing, because he's been sent to help. Holy shit. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense now that the more I think about it, and the less disturbed it can make, like I prophesized, Homer is the brother in episode 4, but it makes it less disturbed. It's more connected, and he was there for Prairie. It makes a load of sense. Holy shit. Wow. That was a pretty challenging episode, honestly. Like, I gotta say, I really, really love how impactful Jessie's death was for not just everyone, but for me as well. Like that one really, I think it briefly does resonate in a sense, but it was well done. Like the shots in this episode as well. Like I really do like the shots in the OA anyways, but there were certain shots in this episode that really had a soft spot for your heart, like Jessie, the sunset, and um, just the way just the way Jessie's death was conveyed. It was just really powerful, this episode, and I really appreciated um, the level of heartache that this episode did produce. Um, and I think Elias, he's called. Yeah, I think it is because I looked up the name to nothing in terms of okay, this spoiled me, but I tried to remind myself of the name, and that did some further digging into things that sound like it's a bit of a stretch of a theory in terms of the whole Elias brother situation, but it's a stretch, but I'll go with it, okay? But Eli Eli is basically the shorter version of Elias, isn't it? And uh, Eli was a prominent figure. I think he was a prominent biblical brother of I'm not so sure because this is all given back to my Metal Gear days when oh, there's this kid called Eli. Wait, what if he's yeah? So it's a bit of a stretch of a theory to further extend the fact that he is the brother of this dimension, but it makes sense definitely with how his and Kareem's jobs kind of do link up, which is not really much, but the fact that he is wanting to, that he is protecting Prairie, and he is an understandable figure of the FBI. It makes sense in my opinion, as well as the fact that he is able to like he gives this in-depth talk about spaces, like about what do these have in common, and he gets BBA on the knowledge about the fact that with her hearing these voices, it kind of does connect to the other universes, because that's the thing with the multiverse. They do vibrate on different frequencies, but if you're in the same area, and if BBA, as Angie puts it, is the chosen one, as a little shot to Steve, she's able to, it's like she's phasing in between these different worlds, but like she's only hearing their voices. She can't jump to different worlds and physically touch one another, or they're not like their like embodiments are not in a single area. It's she can connect to the multiverse, and she can be able to feel some kind of presence, and that's the voices. So it makes sense because if you're in the same room but there's different Earths, and it makes a lot of sense because the multiverse, woo, and I love the multiverse. So yeah, this is it's another reason why the OA resonates so much to me, because I'm an enthusiast of see, I'm Hap. I'm Hap. No, I'm not Hap. But I am an enthusiast of the multiverse. So if she's able to hear all of these different voices in the same location, then it's her tuning into the multiverse. Kind of like a radio in a sense, I think. I don't know. It seems like it in my head. It seems like a good comparison, but it might not to others. But it kind of is. You tune into all of these things in one box, but there are different frequencies, and there's different stations, but it's on one box. I'm not even gonna go into detail, but I tried. But yeah, I do definitely think that now Elias is I'm sure that's his name. Can Eli? actually IMDb this. Season 1, episode 8. No, that's Game of Thrones. We don't like Game of Thrones nowadays. Yeah, for safekeeping. He was in episode 8 for sure, because that's where he confronted French. Who I forgot, did, I think he did give him that card. So, yeah, there we go, Elias. So, he definitely is, Elias. Okay, cool. Eli for short. It all goes back to my brother theory. But yeah, I do think it does connect. It makes the Homer theory that I had in episode 4 less disturbing, and he was there for Prairie when she felt like, well, she had the 5 as well. She had BBA and co, but Elias was there. Like, he was so understanding. So I apologize for accusing I apologize for accusing him of planting something. In fact, it would be the reverse. He's protecting her rather than incriminating her. So, yeah. But it was a really, really powerful episode. I do feel like Jessie's death was necessary in this episode, though, because it could have strayed into that filler territory. Because the thing that was going was BBA didn't go to the next dimension, and everyone was like, Buck was on Amber Alert, and BBA was in a lot of hot water. And with Jessie's death, not only does it delve deeper into the emotions, and it sees the group try to, well, especially Steve, it sees the group look up to OA and try to demonstrate her what she did. But and it didn't work. Like when Homer and OA brought Scott back, it didn't work this time around. I'm not so sure if that's all down to like the fact that this was suicide versus the fact that Scott was killed, and he was frightened as well. Not saying that Jessie wasn't, because the circumstances he was in was heartbreaking, which I'll go on to further in a minute. But it's that I wouldn't say want for death, but it's that case of suicide versus accidental death. So I'm not so sure if that is the reason. I could also account for the fact that I think Homer and OA bringing Scott back took longer than it did for Steve / BBA and Buck, because I think that was only a few hours if I was to judge the lighting. But still, it was heart-aching. But yeah, not only does Jessie's death not delve deeper into the emotions and practices OA's lessons, but it also shows the ramifications of what happens when you ignore mental illness, when you ignore depression. And it's a very touching subject, because you feel like you're alone. We saw the signs there in this episode as well. Jessie didn't want to partake on the beach activities. When he had that PTSD trigger with that car going by, Angie laughed, and it resonated so much. And plus, in season 1, he was very reserved, wasn't he? So I think this episode, like, he clearly did show signs he was far from happy, even in season 1. But this episode really does touch upon it really does touch deeply on the ramifications of what happens when you ignore someone who needs help, and that's the thing. I've been in that space. I've been in that space enough to know that people being there for you can do you the world of good, because otherwise you feel like you're in this fighting battle alone, and it hurts. And some people do take their own life because of this, and it is heartbreaking, because they feel like they're alone, and nobody is going to be there for them, and it is heartbreaking. So, um, yeah, I feel like this touched upon really, really well on the fact that be there for someone. If someone's struggling, just be there. Ask your friends if they are okay every day, because they might need the support. They might need a hug. And if people are like um struggling, then you just hope that they do speak to someone, because like even suicide prevention phone lines as well, for example, it because the worst that's one of the worst feelings, the fact that you feel like you're in this fighting battle alone, and that no one's there for you. So, and that's what I really loved about Steve in this episode. Like, I feel like he knew, and I think that's the reason why he kind of shaved his head, like as a kind of a metaphorical term, as cutting away part of his old life without going too drastic. Um, the hairs are really, really, because it's not like he had a beard or something and he could shave that as a symbolic term. So I think the hair would do. That's my theory. I'm not so sure what it was about, but it's might be a theory, because um, I think Steve knows he can be a bit of a prick. Um, but he's also capable of demonstrating care as well. I really, my heart really opened up so much to Steve being there for Jessie when he was um he was even seated alone, and Steve offered him to rest on him. So I really, really thought that was great, and it was great to see how, like I said, Jesse's death affected everyone, but it affected Steve so much, where he just decided to jump out and practice the movements, and he was absolutely hurt, and he was even putting the blame on himself. So I think this cutting the hair might pull him away from his old life, and might be more sympathetic to others, less of a prick, and is hoping that because that's the thing, he felt like he failed Jessie. He blamed it on himself, so he might want to save others and not let them feel so hopeless and scared, because mental illness is no joke. And I don't know if I said this in my Buffy reaction as well, but because when to the episode when she was bad, when she was going through her own depression, her own isolation. But please do speak to someone if you ever do feel like this. And I said it in this as well, but I'll say it again. I do suck at taking my own advice, because I was going through my own cycle of depression a few months back, and I felt like I was worthless to others, and my sadness, um, my depression, people wouldn't be fussed, but they are. People don't want to see you go through this through one of the worst emotions possible, because it does hurt so much, and it's a real kick in the stomach to feel so hopeless, to feel so lost. And there are people who do care, at the end of who are there for you, who will give you that hug when you need it, and will let you cry on their shoulder. So if you ever do feel lost, speak to someone who you can consider your best friend, who does love you, because mental illness isn't a joke. And yeah, I just felt so bad for Jessie during that episode, and I felt a lot with a lot. I felt so much with a lot of the characters. BB-8, when because she's a delicate person as well, who just needs that hug, and she was under a lot of stress. And then you saw, and Book really, really did mess me up as well, because seeing him just be so like so upset with Jessie's death was really, really heartaching. But yeah, I really, really did enjoy this episode quality-wise. Like I said, some of the shots were really great. And it does further the mystery on Prairie's brother. And it does raise the stakes for BB-8 and co. Where, like, you can understand why Amy thought BB-8 needed a bit of help, because the media thought that BB-8 and everyone involved was in some kind of cult. But I thought this episode played heavily well on the ramifications of the shooting incident. So I really, really appreciated the fact that this episode doesn't shy away from the long-lasting effects to everyone, but also to Jessie as well, who was showing that PTSD. So I'm really glad that they didn't shy away and showed how scary it was for everyone. But yeah, this was a really, really heartbreaking episode. I did love Jessie's like how Jessie comforted BB-8's uncle as well with those words. I thought that was really well done, and like you said, that shot with Jessie in the sunset, and as well as BB-8 and Jessie, I really thought they because it's not the first time that that they have interacted. And I always do like their chemistry, so yeah, it was really, really good seeing that. But yeah, it was a heartbreaking episode that made me just... It made me so heartbroken for Jessie. Like, the poor kid just he felt so alone, and like I said, that loneliness is one of the most crushing things to, like, that depression, that loneliness, it's one of the most crushing things to experience, and to feel like you have no one to turn to it does shatter your heart so much. So my heart just bled so much during that episode. But yeah, I'm really glad that they weren't afraid to show the ramifications of what happens when you do ignore the signs, and like, because this can happen. It doesn't happen to everyone who but it can happen to a lot of people. And yeah, it was just very heartbreaking stuff to see. But it's going to be interesting to see what does happen next with BB-8 and co, now that Elias has confronted them and is kind of 99.9% revealed to be the brother in this dimension. So I do think that the brother in every dimension takes different forms. Because I'm like, especially with how Elias hasn't shown up, and it would seem a bit rushed if he did in the final 2 episodes on Dimension 2. I think it's all a different it's different types, it's different entities, should I say. So in Dimension 1 it's Elias, in Dimension 2 it's Kirim. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It was a really good episode, and I'm honestly lost for words, because Jessie's death was bloody heartbreaking. And you know, reflecting on Jessie's death and how that has a real world importance to those who might be feeling lost, it just does hurt so much. So yeah, but it was a really well done episode focusing on BB-8 and the gang. Yeah, it was really, really good stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!